Are your clients costing you money? Hey, what's up? This is Pete Scott here and welcome to today's YouTube video. Today we're looking not at this side, which is like, how do I get more clients on board? How do I sell? We're looking at the other side where you have the client, but you've got maybe not a good feeling about them. Your gut is saying, I'm not sure. It's like they're taking energy from me, or you've sold far too cheap and now you're still having to deliver for that client and it feels like it's never going to end. Stick around if that is you, because I've got some little golden nuggets along the way. So do comment below when you get something from this video that you can use in your business. Without any further delay, before I go into today's video, show rip. Alright, ladies and gents, let's get into today's video. I've got a few things I want to cover with you, but again, we're talking about, are your clients costing you money? This is predominantly for somebody providing a service, today's video particularly. So you might be a personal trainer, a consultant, you could be a graphic designer, a web designer, but basically you provide a service. And then again, stick around because a lot of these things might be relevant if you're selling a product too, because at the end of the day, in business, it's not just about getting a client, it is about you getting the right clients. I actually think that's one of the major issues that I see with self-employed people is they're so busy, and I've been there myself, like especially at the beginning, you're so just trying to get like your first client or your first 5 clients, so you're pushing and you forget you want the right clients in your business. You don't just want a client, because if you go out there trying to get any client, then you will get exactly that, any client, and their expectations, we're talking a lot about expectation in today's video, but their expectations may far outweigh what they've invested in your product or service. Before we get into kind of the psychology of all of this, because today is mostly about the psychology, and when it comes to onboarding the wrong client that's going to cost you money, it really is down to psychology. I want you to know that there is a cost per sale. So in every business, and maybe you know about this already, but if you don't, that's cool. Cost per sale basically means that it costs you money every time you take in a new client, customer, or member, or whatever to your product or service, or to your business. And most of the time we get this right. Number one, if you're working for a big company, because we have to get the numbers right. Number two, if we're selling a product, we usually get it right because we're working out the calculations. Where I see people get this wrong is when they're providing a service. So maybe, like I say, you're a personal trainer, graphic designer, consultant, whatever, and because you're selling, basically your product is you and your skills, we get so like, I just want to sell, I just want to get myself out there, I want to be busy, I want to have great clients. We end up not calculating our cost per sale. I can actually do another video on cost per sale. Put a comment below if you want me to, but for today, bear in mind that every sale you make costs you money. So you've got to make sure there's enough of a markup for you to profit and for your customer to be happy too. In a number of my other videos, I actually talk about that it's easier to sell at a higher price than it is a lower price. And there's a bunch of reasons around that. But very quickly right now, the main reason why it's easier to sell at a higher price is because what's happening is you're selling the whole solution, right? Like at this level, that person gets it, they're on board. But this is where things go wrong. When we're selling too cheap, and that's where most of the time a client is going to cost us money. We either pull in a favor because we know that person, we're like, okay, seeing it's you, I'll do a better fee for you. And that's where problems really arise. As a business, I've been running my company now for like 5-6 years, and the first couple of years I took on plenty of bad clients, but had some great clients too. And we don't get it perfect as a business. I certainly don't get it right all the time, but like once, twice a year, we take on a bad client, and every single time, and I've really seen this the last few years, every single time we take on a bad client, it costs my business money. So bear in mind, someone may give you like, say, £2,000 or dollars, right? And you're like, wow, I got this money into my account. But at the end of all the work, and you're still trying to get the job done with this client, that might have cost you £3,000. There is a difference between a bad client and a client that costs you money. Just bear that in mind, okay? The clients that cost you money, which is today's video, it's very much just that fact that they're costing you money. You can get a bad client who costs you money as well, different story. But I want you to bear this in mind. Like, most of it comes from when you are selling too cheap. Whatever service or product you provide, the chances are you're watching this video not because you want to deliver an average service and you want to have an average business that delivers an average result for your customers. You want a phenomenal product or service and you want to create phenomenal results. So therefore, if you're going to put that promise out to the world, you have to charge properly for that. You know, undercharging is the fastest way to like feel like crap about yourself and also to find the wrong client. So this is the deal. When you charge cheap on whatever reason, yeah? So whether it's you know someone, they've approached you like, oh, look, I know you and things are a bit tight right now. If you could do me a better deal, there's already an issue, like red flag problem. Do not take that client on board. It's like stay away. Like you can stay friends with them, you can go drinking with them, but do not take them on as a client. Friends and family are usually the worst for this, or at least people that we know. But at the same time, this is why qualifying your clients is so key, and why everything you do, like if you look below in my description, if anybody wants to work with me, then there's an application process. And I've made that quite a strict process because I want to make sure I'm taking on clients that A, understand the mentality required, but B, where I ensure I'm not going to be losing money as a business, okay? Because a bad client can also equal them requesting refunds and all sorts of issues. Next up is bearing in mind that when you don't charge enough for your service, what you're doing is you're setting an expectation to the wrong mindset. It is crucial that your customer or client is in the right mentality. I know that there are a lot of personal development, a lot of gurus out there talk about, oh, your client has to be committed, but I want to go deeper than that, right? It's a lot more psychology than just that generalized crap. You have to understand that that client is in the right space, because if you set an expectation of like, we're going to get you there, we're going to do this, and you're doing all of that for $500, and you know, really, let's be honest, like write it down. How much would it really cost for your client to invest for you to give them that work and help them? It's normally a lot more money, right? Probably 10 times the amount, maybe like 100 times the amount. You never know. When you set an expectation for the wrong mindset, you already set up a problem, because that client is not only going to cost you money, now they become a bad client, because it moves me into the next thing, which is that now they're going to make you work hard for the money. Over the last 6 years, every time I've had a good paying client, they're the easiest client in the world. In fact, it's very much a mirror. I've found that the more a client pays, the easier they are to work with, because they simply get it. They get the expectation, I'll work hard for them, I'll deliver, and they respect me as a professional. And when you set an expectation to the wrong mindset, you're already running into problems. So I also want you to bear in mind that when you sell low, you're going to get people who just think that like, oh, well, I'm working with you, but really they want to work with someone who's like a guru and charges a lot of money. And the final thing to remember here is that they haven't paid enough to solve the problem. In a lot of my videos, I talk about when we have part solutions, or we sell part solutions. And this is, again, one of the major things when I mentor people, or just listen to where their struggles are in their business. It's because they're selling so cheap that they're selling part solutions. But your client, if you've given that promise, yeah, because you've sold a part solution, so you've done that, but you've given the promise, and I bet you've done this, right? You promised like the world to them. When you promise the world to a client, but you sell them at a part solution price, already there's huge conflict, and you're never going to turn them into a good client. And finally, bear in mind there are hidden costs for you as the supplier, the vendor, just the service provider. There's the cost of your time, there is the cost of doing your admin, there's all of these costs in your business. And what I've seen most of the time with people who leave a job to go into the entrepreneur space, they make the leap into the entrepreneur space, but their mind gets caught up still as an employee. And what I mean by that is that as an employee, you may see $2,000, for example, as a lot of money. Like, oh my goodness, $2,000. If I got people say this to me all the time. They're like, Pete, wow, you know, like if I could just earn £4,000 a month, that would change my entire life. But then what they don't realize, number one, is that if you shoot to earn £4,000 a month, the chances are you're going to earn far less than that. You might earn 1,000 or like 2,000 if you're lucky. But number two is that if you keep thinking like an employee, you're just going to sell at an employee level. And now the real issue is you're running a business. Okay, so now I'm speaking to you if you're running a business. Your business comes with a bunch of costs. So the rule of thumb that I've used in my business over the years is I have to triple what I would earn in a job. And the reason for it is because 1/3 of that is my wage. Okay, so say I sell something at £10,000, right? Immediately 3,333 is like what I would need to earn for the amount of work I'm going to put in as a human being. The next third, so the next 3,333 would be for like tax, VAT and all that, and like put it away. And then the other third is to market and to grow the business and to run the business and all of those costs. That's the issue, is that we have an employee mindset and we're trying to run a business. So you can't go in and sell at the price you think you should sell at, because it's going to be too cheap. If you're running a business, it's going to come with other costs. A lot of those are hidden. Some of them are obvious, like, oh my goodness, got this fixed cost. Ultimately, you are no longer an employee. You are now a business freaking owner. owner and you have to charge a business fee. So that is why your clients are costing you money. I can rant about this all day long, but bear in mind, you cannot continue to run a business where your clients are costing you money. So from this video, I want you to go away, start to write down what you need to actually charge in order to make profit, and stick with that, because as soon as you break that value, as soon as you step away and just go, well, let me just get a client, it's already a dangerous game that I wouldn't recommend anybody play. So thank you so much for checking out today's video. Make sure if you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, what are you waiting for? Comment below, let me know how you're getting on, and I'll see you in the next video.